I'm going to talk to you about telenovelas, which are a Spanish-speaking version of soap operas. The difference is they typically run only one season, so there's lots of them going on at the same time. Lots being produced. And Azteca are making, like Luke said earlier, 8 to 10 different ones simultaneously. They also create something called unitarios, which are single episode shows. I'll tell you some more specifications about this later, what we did with them. This is their brand new facilities that they built for novella productions. They even made it look a little bit like an editing timeline, which is kind of cool. So Azteca is one of the 2 largest Spanish-speaking networks in the world, not only in Latin America, but they also cover 89% of the Hispanic households in the US. So they're everywhere. And telenovelas are some of their highest rated, also some of their most profitable shows. And they produce up to 1,200 episodes per year. Think about that for a second. That's a lot of production going on in one single facility. It's pretty. 90% of those shows are exported globally, so this is a really, really big deal. And they're pushing an enormous amount of material through this facility. Azteca came to us a couple of years ago and said, okay, we want to try and move this over to Final Cut Pro 10. Is it possible? Of course, we jumped at that challenge. Why would they choose to go to Final Cut Pro 10? And these are their discoveries. They found out it's a really fast way of working. Fast in the sense that it's very simple. It's very quick to get up and going. It's very quick to get stuff through in a much simpler workflow than they had before. They also found that it's a very approachable application. It's very easy to get editors up and running. Yes, there is a learning curve. Yes, the interface is different. We all know these things. But in the end, once the editors are up and running, it's really, really simple to teach them how to use it. And also, obviously, and very importantly, it's very, very cost effective. So when you're doing a facility of this size, you obviously want to get as many machines in, as many people in, and you want to have the flexibility of being able to set up lots of systems very, very quickly at a low cost. It gives you a lot of flexibility, and you become a very elastic operation. The post requirements, this is one of their typical editing suites, were pretty clear from the beginning. Editing stations are placed throughout the campus. It's not just that building. There's lots of buildings on their campus. Everything is interconnected. Everything had also to be on a shared storage solution, and it had to work in 4K and 1080p 60, which are their formats that they are working towards. Audio is finished in Pro Tools in 5.1 surround, so that's pretty standard. And they wanted to do their color grading in DaVinci Resolve. So those were sort of, these are your parameters. Let's work around that. But we also went and looked a little bit on what is their existing workflow? How would we be able to work with them? So what we found is that on their ingest side, they have a really interesting thing. They've been doing tapeless ingest for many, many years, and their ingest operators have already been coding somehow metadata into the file names of everything they've captured for lots and lots of years. So we have the media ID, we have the date, we have the show name, we have the episode, we have all these things already on the file name. So it was a fairly easy task to write a custom script, takes that into file names, and populates the metadata into Final Cut Pro 10. So in a very similar way to what Sam just showed you, they can basically very easily drag some footage in, and it's already going to be coded in Final Cut Pro 10, searchable, and that means that they can track all the metadata from within Final Cut Pro 10. And the assistant editors love this. It's really, really quick to do it. And it works exactly pretty much like what you saw Sam do earlier. The script also tags everything that comes in automatically with audio roles. So once stuff comes in, it's already tagged with channel IDs, names, all these things. And that also flows into Pro Tools, because they're using Marquis X2 Pro, which is also a great tool. And for the shared storage, they selected Quantum Store Next, primarily because of the long distances, but also because they really want to go towards 4K, and the amount of throughput going through this site is quite enormous. And that's been working, obviously, quite well for them. It also means that the Pro Tools stations, the DaVinci stations, can be on the SAN regardless of operating system. And on the Mac, well, it's XSAN. So that's totally free, and they also like that a lot. With the Thunderbolt and Thunderbolt 2, the throughput is absolutely incredible. Where do you go next on a project like this? What did we find, and what have we suggested for them? One of the things is we want to consolidate on a single codec. And like you saw Bryce from AJ show earlier, You've obviously seen Apple. Everyone here likes to use ProRes a lot, and it's great because you have machines like the Key Pro, you have equipment from Blackmagic, and they all ingest into ProRes. And actually, one of the things we found at Azteca, it's a multi-cam setup. So they go in with a small truck, a video switcher, some cameras, they switch it, and they basically ingest it. What we've suggested to them is one of these Mac Pros, it's been tested to at least 8 channels of high-def ProRes ingest on a single machine. So that means you can take one of these things out and capture at least 8 channels of high-def just on that machine. And that's pretty cool. It means you can get lots of stuff going, very small form factor, really, really quickly. But however, I mentioned that it's a multi-cam workflow. So they already have a switcher. They already have the cameras. If we ingest that into the machine and also capture the switcher information, that gives us a lot of flexibility. And Softron, who are here today, are showing software that can do both these things, both the multi-cam ingest and also connection to a video switcher that automatically makes a Final Cut Pro multi-cam project with all the streams automatically based on the switcher input. And this is absolutely amazing if you're doing any kind of multi-cam production. Finally, a media asset management system. In the beginning, this all works really well with just a Finder and lots of files, but once you have 300 productions, this is going to be a big problem. There are lots of really good asset management systems. There's one really great one that works with Final Cut Pro 10. It's called Cantemo Portal. It's really so great that it's already supporting libraries from Final Cut Pro 10.1 and the new XML formats and everything. What's great about it is it basically frees up a lot of resources for assistant editors. You can be online in a web browser, making annotations, even rough cut edits. You bring that into Final Cut Pro, and it has all the metadata in there. It has the rough cut becomes a high-resolution edit, cuts only, and that's absolutely brilliant. So those are sort of the things that we're going to take them a little bit into the future with. So I just wanted to show you that. I wanted to tell you a little bit about it. There's a lot more information. This is an Apple in-action story on the website. You can go there. There's a lot more discussion about how they feel the editor works as an editor's tool, as an artist's tool, not so much on the technical side. And if you're interested in this, go take a look at the story. There's some great quotes in there. They really tell how they feel. And it's absolutely wonderful. So thank you very much.